This season is for honoring our energy, our needs, and prioritizing a personal balance that can only be discovered for ourselves. I spent so long trying to live up to all of these expectations I created over time, especially in my mind, to the point where I was constantly overwhelmed with all the things I should be doing, to the point of on and off burnout that only furthered my stress. You can't stress yourself into being healthy. Over time, that only kills mental health and confidence from only seeing all that isn't being accomplished, which is already a daily struggle with ADHD. So instead, I reached a point where I kind of had to just stop everything for a while to reset what my personal expectations are without overwhelming myself and come to understand a new level of wellness. My personal realistic wellness took time to learn what this looks like for me now. It's been a relief to actually experiment with different routines, habits, and states of being, seeing how far my energy goes, how long I need to rest, and what I need to do for myself on a day-to-day basis. Not expecting the same level of productivity every single day has been the biggest game changer for me. And now I feel like
Hey welcome back. I am having a really chill day today. I have today off from work because this weekend is probably going to be busy. And I feel like my weekends lately have been busy, which has been nice. I actually learned recently I can really only enjoy aspects of slow living when I'm also out and being slightly unhinged and like having fun or whatever, kind of get a little bit wild, I guess you could say, like having that contrast of getting energy out and dancing and being silly and maybe being a little just young and dumb, and then like coming back and returning to my practices and the things that slow me down and make me feel good. I need a balance of those two things, and I feel like for the last year I really embraced slow living, but like there was no contrast in that, so I would enjoy it for a period and then I would be insanely bored. That's just on being understimulated with ADHD. I feel like certain things make sense for people if they struggle with being overstimulated and they need to like shut themselves in or do whatever, be introverted. But as an extroverted, understimulated girly, I like being out more often than not. I have actually been enjoying certain aspects of life. Like, I'm not saying that I love working in a warehouse or anything like that. Like, it's not my dream, obviously. But I've been getting closer with my coworkers, and so I've been enjoying being at work just because of that. Like, I'm in a department mostly full of women. There's like 5 guys in my department, and I love like going to work and talking to everyone, or not talking and just people talking to me and I listen. With my boyfriend, he lives with his 2 roommates, and being around other guys too that's been like a newer experience, like really being around just guys being guys, like dudes, like bros being bros is a different kind of energy. Like, I feel like I've been learning a lot from being around them all, and how just their friendships and stuff are, and how like let loose and just fun. I don't know, I've just been having a good time recently, and I feel like the life I'm living now is something a year ago that I feel like I would have probably told myself, like, this isn't who you are, this isn't blah 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 blah. I really hate the idea that like I felt like I had to put myself in a box. I think I was stressing myself out doing that, trying to like fit into this image of what it looks like to be spiritual and living slowly and mindfully, when there are yoga practices that you can take off a mat. Like, just because, say, I'm not physically practicing every single day doesn't mean while I'm in the warehouse and I notice my thoughts and maybe they're anxious, and then I can practice Pratipaksha Bhavana, which is replacing the bad thoughts with good thoughts, or mantra. And so I start repeating like Om Namah Shivaya in my head, and then I'm like, whoa, like rejuvenate my energy in a heartbeat. There's just so many ways that I feel like I've been implementing yoga beyond the mat more so than anything. It's been kind of teaching me a lot on how to be flexible in life and just not like I think I struggle with perfectionism, or I do. So not I think. I do struggle with perfectionism and an image that I can have in my head of what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing and what life is supposed to look like. I've just learned to like let those old stories go. Just kind of let go of that image and just do what's feeling good or follow what makes me feel good, what makes me happy. I'm super extroverted. I love being around people and meeting new people and being out and dress up. I feel like this year is about to be, this summer especially, like the spring summer is about to be full of adventure and excitement, and that's something that I feel like I've been really missing for the last like 2 years of my life. So I've been enjoying the downtime, but also I've still been going out on the weekends or just being around family and my boyfriend's family. I've been opening up, I've been expanding my energy to see where I can experience more presence in a situation that I feel like wouldn't normally be deemed as like a spiritual thing. I don't know. It's just weird. I feel like in everything, on all the information on wellness and everything and health and blah blah blah, I just feel like we forget to live, and it's easy to forget to just live. And I'm not even saying this like to you guys, like me, like I feel like I was just forgetting to live, like just make plans and go out and be around people and learn new stuff, opening up to the world. So I feel like my world is opening up and I'm just feeling alive. I'm feeling so alive. So the only thing about where I moved is that I am like a little bit further from my friends now, and I was trying to catch one of their sessions that is where I used to live. It's like 30, it's like 30 minutes. It's like 30 minutes away, but I work closer still down there. Anyways, I commute, but like I got off work really early and I had to kill 5 hours. 5 hours is a lot of time to kill by yourself in a town where like you don't live. And I'm just realizing that like coming off my period, kind of noticed this earlier this morning, but like I think my iron is a little bit low. Not as scary as it was like 2 months ago, but it's a little bit low. I'm a little bit low energy, I noticed. So I just decided to take it easy. I even was prepared. Cute fit and everything. I was prepared. It was warm. I was like excited for a brief moment. But then after an hour, and I was like, I like understimulated. I was just wildly understimulated. I'm gonna take a nap. I saw this thread. I don't want to call them tweets because they're this thread post a while back, or like last week, that was like, there's a new study out now that says that women need 10 hours of sleep. Take that nap. And honestly, I've been sleeping more, and I think it's true because I've actually been gradually feeling more energy up until my period, of course. But that's just a natural dip in my energy. So I'm going to take a nap. And that's on realistic wellness. That's it. That's all. I should also add that I am super grateful to have people in my life who their first response is honor your energy. You know, I love that I have people in my life who are just like, do you understand it? So I am getting ready to catch up with a friend. We're going to one of our favorite cafes a little bit where I used to live. I used to go to it all the time, so I'm just putting on a little like makeup, and I'm like, I hope to God I don't butcher this. I never put makeup on like on camera or anything, but it's a friend that like recently just reconnected with, and I am super excited. Please. Alright, that is good. It's simple and cute, and I really do just simple makeup looks. Makeup is something I have never got into because of weird life circumstances. But now I'm like starting to get into it, and now I'm like, I feel like I'm late developing that skill. But putting on my accessories, and I'm gonna drink a glass of water before I go because I'm super parched, as I am when I wake up. I feel like I'm going for this like woodland fairy little vibe. A little bit of a fit check. I have this wrap that I used to try to wrap around my boobs, but it didn't work like that, and so I wrapped it around this dress because that's kind of a more accurate way to style it. Have my little earthy belt to go with it, green headband in contrast, and my white cardigan I think is in the car, so you might just see me with it on later, but this is the look. I'm like is one real solid meditation session to recalibrate the brain a little bit, the ADHD mind and my nervous system, and kind of almost like refocus my energy where I have been intending to. I am easy on myself because moving this month and everything, finding routine again, adjusting to a new space, new environment, new energies. Like, I kind of knew March was gonna be like all over the place. I haven't done one of these like reflecting on the month, setting intentions for like the coming month, the coming time in a while. I used to really like have rituals for like first of the month type deal. And so I was journaling earlier and just like, you know, I was like, you know, March was kind of just me all over the place, figuring it out, finding my energy, finding my footing. And now that I feel more settled into this space and I'm figuring out the routine that I'm building and the habits that I wanting to cultivate more of for myself, I'm like looking into April and just realizing where I've been feeling rigid, a little bit fearful, anxious, which is okay because human. Like, I know that it's spring and it's warming up and the flowers blooming and everything just like coming back to life. I definitely want to move with a more open heart, like heart forward. Not that I haven't been, but just kind of not been in my most conscious state, which is fine. Like, I also am not like beating myself up over that, but I'm definitely reflecting and I'm like, okay, heart open, you know, like remembering my peace, remembering my center, coming back into balance. I find my balance with going out, having fun letting loose, and then coming back and returning to myself. This morning / afternoon was definitely a slow, peaceful one. Made a smoothie, just read some poetry, watered my plants, just finished some yoga, and I'm remembering that while having all of these goals and intentions in mind, that the biggest thing, I feel like the most simplistic way to ease my mind is that sometimes I forget that the ultimate goal is just to live. It's just to live and grow and love. And I'm just like, that sounds like those cheesy live, laugh, grow, or live, laugh, love like type things. But it's like life really, it can be that simple sometimes. You just love first, show gratitude, like show up for yourself, show up for others selflessly, and you know, also protect your peace at the same time. And I feel like when I think about it like that, I'm like, what is the rush? What am I like tripping over myself for? And just coming back to myself. And this has just been a really easygoing Sunday. I definitely want to channel and harness more creative energy coming into spring. That's something I haven't tapped into within myself in a while. And I've been having ideas just like surface through my head the way they do, and I write them down. So that's like a small goal, like a little step, like a little starting point. And this is like a small thing, but like I want to fix one of my waist beads that broke. Funny story with my waist beads. I just don't think I properly measured my waistline or measured the proper part of my waist, and so I tried to readjust my waist bead and it snapped, and it was nylon, and I have a stretchy string, so I think I'm going to tie my waist bead back on, but I'm going to put it on the stretchy string because I feel like, well, at least with the stretch it leaves space for in case I bloat and stuff like that, and I was having a little bit of trouble with that. But my other one is a clasp, and I'm just missing my waist beads. I'm like, what are some little steps I can do to get my hands moving back into jewelry? I miss making jewelry. I also just miss poetry, and I'm like, I just want to read more poetry. I'm like, just really simple little things to implement and cultivate more creative living, have more art in my life. And that's really all, and I feel like I'm coming back to my simplistic mindset of just like, this is what I want to do right now, and this is cool, and that's it, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Don't have to overcomplicate anything, as my mind does. Big one is probably meditate every day. Probably won't get to it every single day, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna act like effort. I need to find the balance between effort and ease, and that's what yoga teaches. And yoga just really helps me to like shed the tension in my body and my mind, and then be like, what do we really need? What do we really want? Meditation being a big one. I feel like I'm coming into this standstill in my like asana practice, but also I know that that's just like, it's just like a phase, like as long as I keep showing up to move my body, because especially now with kapha season, the heavy, dense, humid atmosphere coming back makes me feel heavy and sluggish. That movement is so important. So like even just doing sun salutations and then having a heavy focus on like fiery, like Kapalabhati, breath of skull shining breath and stuff like that. I'm just like, alright, these are my habits that I want. I really want to go to a market soon. I want to pick up some fire cider tonic or order some, all that stuff. So I'm like, alright, I'm just recalibrating, and that's cool, and that's nice. And with the focus on realistic wellness at the same time, I'm also just remembering it's okay if I don't do everything perfectly every single day. If I lose my routine a little bit, come back to myself. Like, everything's a cycle, so it's just like there are different points where I'm realizing different things in different phases of my cycle. Hormonally, seasonally, just taking it easy. And so that's where I'm at today. And that's where I'm going into April with. I'll see you guys in my next video. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.